Well, I'm short, so I'm gonna try to make this short. How's everybody doing? I'm headed to work. Yeah, I know y'all are probably getting tired of these videos, but this is what's going on in my life right now. Pigs are kind of at a standstill. I'm gonna have to get to doing some investigation. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to call most of them. We're just not getting baby pigs. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is autism. And autism is pretty interesting. I didn't know about it until my oldest stepson's diagnosis. And then I still didn't know much, so I start trying to figure out how to help him. And then we end up getting a diagnosis of my son, the #1 farmhand. And, you know, once you start looking into things, one thing leads to another, and you know how it goes. Well, like I said, I've been doing research and I've been watching any videos that I can. There's a ton of stuff out there about it. For those of you who do not know, autism is a broad spectrum. It can go from someone who doesn't have the capacity to take care of themselves to nonverbal, people who don't talk, to like my sons. They both are on. They used to be able to diagnose Asperger's, which is a high functioning form of autism. To look at Dewey and Ethan, you wouldn't think anything's wrong because they're just like everyone else. But it's more the social interactions. It's hard to understand the nonverbal cues when you have autism. The subtle nuances in speech, sometimes innuendo and sarcasm is lost in the translation, so to speak. But in the course of trying to figure out how to help them, I start to realize, wait a minute, the more I learn about this, the more this sounds like me. I've known most of my life I'm different, but I just never could quite figure out how. And it's things like people I've known my whole life. If I haven't seen them in a while, it's just like meeting a new person all over again. I don't know what to say. I can't bring myself to start a conversation. I give short answers. And another sign of autism is I can get just super focused on something that catches my attention, and I will just dive into it and learn all I can about it and drive people nuts trying to talk to them about it, try to share my knowledge, which, if you've been following me, you can probably see that in my videos. I like to share my knowledge. I think that it can be useful to other people. But, not always. So, okay. Autism shows itself in a lot of ways, and I learned a couple of new things today. I was watching a YouTube channel called I Am Mind Blind. And this lady, her name's Amanda. Wow, she's got a lot of information. And she deals with autism and also ADHD. So, ton of information. I'm trying to keep my mind focused here, and sometimes that's hard. But she introduced me to a couple of new things today. One is that most people who have autism also have ADHD. And then there was something else that, and this is what caught my attention that got me to watch her video. I've watched others. She's not new to me. Alright, I gotta stop here a second. Okay, now I had to clear up some space to get some more time, because I couldn't do this in the time I had left. Okay, so a lot of people who are diagnosed with autism, and obviously I would assume that ADHD as well, or ADD, they kind of go together, and you'll have a dual diagnosis there, which is kind of interesting, because there's been parts of ADHD that, I wondered if I didn't have it, but I'm not like driven, like I'm driven by a motor, which is one of the things they talk about as being a sign of ADHD. But anyway, getting back to the autism. And there's something else that I think really hits home with me, and it describes so much. Pathological defiance avoidance. No, pathological demand avoidance. Yeah, pathological demand avoidance. And this is something that, as soon as she explained it, I was like, that's me. That's me. Aha. And what PDA, pathological defiance avoidance. No, pathological demand avoidance. Pathological demand avoidance. Sorry I'm repeating myself so much. I'm just trying to get this in my own head. But basically what it is that if you perceive that this is a demand, then you're going to avoid it. You're going to be like, no, not happening today. Not going to do it. It's just, and that's me. That's my whole life. If I thought you demand me to do it, yeah, watch this. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. And that's the way it is with the number one farmhand. If he perceives it as a demand that he has to do this, he's like, watch this. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. And he won't do it. And I'm kind of the same way. I'm a little different because I'm grown up, and, life has taught me there's certain things I have to do. He's not quite got to that point yet. He's getting better. But that explains my problems, some of my problems in school. That explains his problems in school. That just, you demand I do this? Yeah, well, we'll see about that. And, wow. Of course, I need to go back and rewatch that video now, because I missed some of it. Because, you can't always take everything in the first time around, but it was just amazing. And when that light bulb went off in my head, like, wow. There's no doubt I have that. This could help, if we could figure out how to work around that, then this could change a lot of things for a lot of people. But I know that when you're on the autism spectrum, certain things aren't as important to you. Hygiene, taking a shower every day, washing your hair, wearing deodorant, brushing your teeth, all this kind of stuff that normal people just do. When you're on the spectrum, autism spectrum, you don't care about that stuff. American school system, which is a mess. But anyway, this is about autism, and I want to keep it there. And you know, like I've said, this autism is personal to me, because not only does my son, but my stepson, and I can see it in a lot of other people, and I want to help people. So that's why I'm making this video. I didn't get it any detailed because I'm not real detail oriented anyway on some things, and I don't want to mess up the details. I don't want to put wrong information out, especially on this topic. Because like I said, this topic hits pretty close to home for me. But when you're different in this way, I mean, if you're different anyway, I mean, it goes back to the herd mentality of people. You know, in a herd, people don't like to talk about this, but just as an example, if an albino deer is born into a herd, sometimes, and I'm sure it depends on the predator pressure, but if an albino fawn is born into a deer herd, other members of the herd will kill it. Now, this does not happen every time, and like I said, I think predator pressure's got a lot to do with it, but the reason for that is because it stands out. Differences are noticed. You don't want to be noticed when you're a prey animal. So, and people are just animals. I could go on and on about that one. We're animals. We're not so far removed from the rest of the animals as we would like to think we are. But anyhow, I hope this helps somebody. And remember, it's pathological demand avoidance, which again means that if you perceive it as a demand, then you're going to avoid it, you know. And you don't avoid every demand, but some demands are just, you know, like, it triggers something in your brain and you're like, no, I'm not going to do it. So if you're dealing with children or adults even, and they just seem unreasonably defiant about doing something, that may be what you're dealing with. And at this point, I can't help you. I wish I had the answer. If I had the answer to that, I could probably write a book and retire, but I don't have the answer. Because like I said, I know that, and it's happened. I have done it, and I'm conscious of it. Where, you know, I've had bosses say, you're going to do this, and I'll be like, watch me. You just go hide and watch. Or you have to do it this way. That's the big one. You have to do it this way. Really? Yeah, but watch this. But like I said, and we need to become more aware as a society of autism and the multitude of ways that it can manifest itself. That guy that is just socially awkward, and you're like, I don't know about that. It might be that he's just autistic and doesn't know how to function. I'm struggling for a word here. He doesn't know how to function in a social setting. There we go. I had to use a few words, but yeah. like I said, I want to help. If this interests you, I Am Mind Blind was the YouTube video I was watching. I've made kind of a connection with Amanda on that channel just through this stuff. I'll watch her channel and it's like, whoa, I do that. Stimming. It's stimulating yourself, and I've done that my whole life. It's just different. It manifests itself in different ways. So anyway, I'm almost there. Go check out that channel. I don't personally know Amanda. On I Am Mind Blind. But go check it out. Wow, it's a fascinating concept. And today's video, the one that I watched anyway, to me was interesting because not only was it an interesting topic, but you could see how she talked, and she had to restart the video a couple times to gather her thoughts, and you could tell she was struggling with it. So anyway, let's look out for each other. Let's help each other when we can. And let's pray. Later.